Now, in this particular question, we have been given an entire paragraph. You're expected to read that particular paragraph and then answer the following questions. As far as the paragraph is considered, let me read it out for you. Let's begin. It says, and I quote, "The mass of the original matter and the mass of the newly formed matter as a result of a chemical change are equal." This means that the total mass of the reactants is exactly equal to the total mass of the products, provided the masses are measured under exactly the same conditions. In the year 1785, the French scientist Antoine Lavoisier inferred from his research that there is no rise or drop in the weight of the matter during a chemical reaction, which means during a chemical reaction, the matter is neither going to get added up nor is the matter going to get subtracted. Matter is neither created nor is it destroyed. It only converts from one form to the other. Now, over here, in a chemical reaction, I can say that the total weight of the reactants is same as the total weight of the products formed due to the chemical reaction, and this over here is called as the law of conservation of matter. So that's our entire paragraph, giving me tons and tons of information. Using that particular paragraph, I need to answer the following questions. The first one is really easy. Let's have a look. It says, and I quote, "Is there any difference in the mass of the original matter and the mass of the newly formed matter due to the chemical change?" Obviously not. The law of conservation of mass states that the total mass of the reactants is exactly equal to the total mass of the products, which means whatever is the mass of the reacting substances is exactly same to the mass of the products which have been formed after the reaction is complete. So the simple one-word answer is obviously going to be no. There is absolutely no difference between the mass of the reactants and the mass of the products. There is no difference between the mass of the original matter and the mass of the newly formed matter during a chemical change, during a chemical reaction. Next, who do we have? When and who inferred that the weight of the reactants is same as the weight of the products? It's given in the paragraph. Think about it carefully and let me answer it for you. We have the genius guy over here. Let's name him. As far as this particular law is considered, who is the scientist responsible? It happens in the year 1785. And who is the scientist? French scientist Antoine Lavoisier is the person who is responsible for stating the law of conservation of matter, the law of conservation of mass. Finally, the law of conservation of matter, the law of conservation of mass looks somewhat like this. The diagrammatic representation is in front of you. What are we going to do? What is the law of conservation of matter? That's our final question. So think about this carefully. Matter can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to the other, which means the total mass of the reactants is exactly equal to the total mass of the products during a chemical reaction, provided the masses were measured under the same conditions of temperature and pressure. Let's have a look. In a chemical reaction, the total weight of the reactants is exactly equal to the total weight of the products formed during the chemical reaction. And this over here, my dear child, is the law of conservation of matter.